Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching, and thank you for this chance to talk about something that's been on my heart and in my mind. See, my husband and I want to bring attention to a crisis that no one talks about. We want to talk about the homelessness and poverty in our city in Jacksonville, Florida. We want to talk about the street life, the struggle, the hood life, whatever you want to call it, but right here in Jacksonville. No matter what it's called, it's all around us. This unmentioned subculture of, the impoverished, the ones at the bottom of the totem pole. Basically, we wanted to do something about it by calling it out, calling attention to it. So, with my husband's audio and video editing skills, plus my research and information gathering and my voice, he says I love to talk, it seemed like a natural thing to us for us to bring this project to life. This isn't a preachy type thing. Our videos are not meant to pass judgment or put anyone down. We just want to bring it to you and let you decide how you feel. Before we start, I'd like to give a bit of information on my city, Jacksonville, Florida. So, Jax, as we sometimes call it around here, is the largest city land-wise in the contiguous United States. With the exception of 4 cities in Alaska, there is no place in the U.S. bigger than Jax. Jacksonville, also referred to as the River City, is the county seat of Duval County, Florida, and the city of Jacksonville constitutes pretty much all of the county, with the exception of the cities of Baldwin, Jacksonville Beach, Atlantic Beach, and Neptune Beach. Jax is also home to the largest public parks system in the U.S. and the 20th largest public school system in the country. Jacksonville has a rich history and is a modern city with lots to see and do. And being a modern city on the move, Jax has its share of modern city problems, such as crime. Jacksonville, Florida ranks in top 10 U.S. cities for homicide rates, coming in at 7, sandwiched between Baltimore and Kansas City. Sex offenders. According to homefacts.com, there are approximately 2,179 registered sex offenders in Jacksonville, Florida as of this writing. The emphasis is placed on the word registered because, as you may or may not know, some convicted sex offenders neglect to register as mandated. But as far as those who are registered, they are scattered throughout the Jacksonville metro area, but as can be expected, the majority are concentrated in the less desirable parts of the city, meaning you are likely to find more sex offenders on King Street or East 15th Avenue than you will find on Costa Verde Circle or Salt Breeze Point. In fact, the Florida Times-Union maintains a database of sex offenders in Duval County, which is Jacksonville, Florida. And this list includes a listing of all Jacksonville public schools and the number of registered sex offenders living within a mile of each school. As expected, the schools with the most sexual predators nearby are in the hood. The conclusion of this matter is that Jacksonville, Florida does have its share of sexual predators. Drug addiction. Jacksonville, Florida, like other cities in Florida, like many other cities across the entire country, has its share of drug addiction problems. As of 2022, Jacksonville saw a 26% increase in overdose fatalities, jumping from 440 to 556 deaths, with oxycodone being a common factor. Homelessness. According to JacksonvilleToday.com, From 2023 to 2024, the homeless population in Jacksonville has increased by over 25%, spiking from 396 to 547. The Florida Times Union reports the area homeless population as about 1,247 as of January 2023. Of this count, 71% are experiencing homelessness for the first time. 75% are sheltered, meaning living in temporary shelters, while the remainder are unsheltered, living on the streets, in cars, or tents. Side note, don't be misled by the term sheltered. This term simply means that the individual has a place to lay their head for a short period of time. Many homeless shelters provide the shelter for the night, but the people must vacate in the morning. Another side note, Jacksonville has the highest population of homeless registered sex offenders in the state of Florida. This makes it extra treacherous to be homeless in Northeast Florida's largest city. Indeed, in the entire state. Single-parent households. According to WJCT News, there are about 90,000 households with children in Jacksonville, Florida. Of this number, 36,000 of these households are led by single parents. Of this number, 32,000 are headed by single women, and 47% of these single female-led households are living below poverty. Side note, while the homeless population consists of way more single men than single women, when it comes to homeless families, most of them are led by single women. A homeless female-led family on the streets of Jacksonville, which has the highest number of homeless registered sex offenders in the entire state, is in a highly vulnerable position. Sexually transmitted diseases. In a 2023 study of the largest 100 cities in the U.S., Jacksonville ranked highest in the state of Florida for STD rates, coming in at number 16. Disturbing side note, two other Florida cities placed in the top 25 of this list. Miami at 17 and Fort Lauderdale at 19. Super disturbing side note, 4 more Florida cities made the list as well. Orlando, Tampa, West Palm Beach, and Daytona Beach rounded out the list. But back to Jacksonville's STD situation. Jax has a population of nearly 1 million people. Here is the breakdown of STDs per 100,000 people. 267 HIV cases, 11,667 chlamydia cases, 5,376 gonorrhea cases, 511 syphilis cases. Again, these numbers are per 100,000 residents. Jacksonville, Florida is a scary place to be on the dark streets. Education. Duval County Public Schools is the 20th largest public school system in the U.S. and achieved a 2023 graduation rate of 87.2%. The state graduation rate was 88%, while the national high school graduation rate as of 2022 was 87%. Per the most recent census, 91.2% of the Jacksonville, Florida area population are high school graduates, and 33% hold bachelor's degrees or higher. Not too shabby for a city full of sex offenders and STDs, right? Unemployment. Jacksonville, Florida has a civilian labor force of about 846,000, and the unemployment rate is currently 3.2%, with the rate over the last 6 months hovering somewhere between 3 and 3.4%. The largest job sector is trade, transportation, and utilities, followed by education and health services, and rounding out with professional and business services. The sum total? Jacksonville is a city much like other urban areas in the U.S. The streets of Jacksonville can be a dark, daunting, scary, and uncertain place. The reasons that people end up there are varied and wide, and their stories are genuine and compelling. It is our goal to use Dark Street Journal to tell their stories and shine a light on their plights. Thank you for listening.